Hi guys, welcome back. And it's 12 o'clock and the date is 29th December 2025. And so we begin today's study live stream and I have several other things to do, but still like I wake up not for long. And so let's just think whether we can potentially um, into some into some finished readings that like I need yeah I need um, yeah, I need finish reading the literature from development economics, and today we got a lot of actual occasions to me and my family members in US and in China. And I really don't want like I read that finally during one night, and the knowledge was be updated into the Chinese um, construction bank, for example, the etc. Those kind of financial institutions, and so in this sense, I will not raise that. And the reason is that was that I was um, self be manipulated and also based upon my understanding. And that's why so better not start, right? Not start that so that's why you can only self destroy in the sense. Um, yeah. Okay, so let's into the states, study reading state, and to kind of quick finish this, and I hope afternoon I can come out and the yeah we can have a new purchase amount. Even I need a lot of money now, and so yeah, and what else? They want graduation of the master, and I don't believe that. And from my point of view, he has not said that he started, and after the entry of this year, entry of this month, and um, yeah, we I could potentially think that is kind of like AI embedded tools, like you can wipe out the characters of finish the picture, for example, and then you can type into a new title, and in order to embed that smoothly, and you can kind of merge the things and with the picture background. And so for me, like I don't think it is right because I don't really think that is existing, and you can absolutely you can also not trust that platform. That's why actually like 3 days after, and Alex Makeup already came to the most taking pad, and they tell me what is going on, and some big shock. Like we I haven't noticed that until before yesterday, and like 25 days after, and like 20 days, and I have the time distance with the Alex Makeup like 90 hours, and so we have like 20 days, and to make things actually in acknowledgement. And yeah, fine. And what else could potentially be done? And is to continually reading this article and try to communicate with the try to communicate with my co-partner, and even there are a lot of problems going on actually, and we found actual 落实法, and I really haven't not yeah, I really don't know that I still have one code about that, and yeah, I feel like I yeah, what my life was changing and what is going on, and etc. Is there, yeah. Okay, fine. So, yeah, let's continue doing this. Touch the computer, and if it is okay to, and so we got the 33% charging of the Samsung computer, and yeah. I really don't want he graduate. I don't know why. Like, I don't know where he started because in my conscious there is no such setting. But like, when he studied his master, I absolutely have no clue about that actually. So from my point of view, and but finally I can use his master degree and use the Alex McLeod's degree and to make my degree to make my master degree and using two levels, and that sounds great. That's why last year I can only choose Bornheim, my guys made up, right? So this year we cannot easily let them go, and finally we using them too and make to establish my master degree. So sorry, we shouldn't say that master. We say that niveau 2 degree, like eine Niveau hoch, um, eine level high degree. And and let's check Flink whether open or not. And but we supposed not to buy anything now, and because my family member has charged me and said that I shouldn't buy actual because that was expensive. We should buy some easy and cheap supermarket goods and etc. So fine. And I found one thing is much more interesting in the entry alpha of December, and only my cooperated partner about the presentation could potentially be and could also someone else, and was in support, like to say it. Yeah, yeah.就像那个魔法那个 wipeout eraser effect, and it's the entry Photoshop technique, and you can do that. But I would rather believe that is the Photoshop, and just pick up one similar presentations and say something that I might execute do something and add zero to province. That's much more happy to think this way. Okay, fine. So we just hold it to that. Um, what I'm currently reading is that the article about the gender equality, and this topic is actually about something in household, that when the women, man got a different yeah, I, yeah, okay. Let's not just judge the word formulation like negotiate negotiation power. Um, yeah. Okay. So if it is marriage or business, like legal transaction, and then kind of like negotiate it, but in this sense, this kind of level of article you cannot expect that much. So yeah, and about the distribution of the housework, and um, and also something like if whether that depends on the woman's educational level, and to say that in the article has only the easy categorized. For example, like high educated and low educated is kind of like the um, Olympics teaming with Professor Steiner in 2021. And I was thinking this way, and he also, yeah. And one thing I feel like Google is that the music students has involved in, and to kind of like I was kind of like intermediate and and high levels and low levels. Yeah, but the category was too broad, like not very, not very specified and not very detailed, so to say. And then about some surveys from Argentina and this kind of continent, and about EPLS and EPLS kind of not EPLS. It is like EPNPL, ENLP. Sorry, I don't know. It's one program, like study program I still specialize in. It is ENPL, and so that this program, and it's kind of like the Shanghai Zheongda's program, and like not double degree, kind of double degree, but they have the higher truth criterion. And so kind of the Shanghai was my neighbor, and they communicating and has the group set up about the program and etc. And yeah, so to say they pick the good, right? But the problem is that they are wrote kind of informal. And another problem is that like the difference in difference, and we mentioned also like ITT, but intention to treatment, that is kind of like the RCT, like random control trial, but here I kind of rise into the difference in difference. So from my point of view, like some basic statistic knowledge, or econometric knowledge, like and one thing is also very there is that the four categories about the four quarters, but they use like they choose two quarters, and between the three connection point of the quarters. And one thing is also like orientation week of this is of this semester, and it is kind of with a co-out in the PowerPoint. And one thing is really interesting because I was very interested in the orientations week. The first lecture, it is about like 15 students that is their bachelor best at the same university, and this cohort, so that is semester, and I kind of don't really trust that. And so I questioned about, but it's kind of like 7 to 8, I would say. It's not that much. and so the data could advise him, so to say, for their privacy protective purpose. And so um, the 15 is kind of Mac ready, right? And and Auto was also appeared in the article and foundry comfortable with because it kind of like pre-assumed that you will do this kind of article and like predetermined, right? In a sense, uh, yeah, in a sense, the co-out orientation week doesn't have that much student to go to a time of so to say, and also this course is special course in orientation week is for the identity level high students, and that's why different level, but they are kind of converged into this, and also several words is jumping out. And, yeah, okay, cool. So, yeah, so one simple, I would not say that is simple regression analysis. I would say that is kind of intercept plus beta multiply with one variable, and there are several variables implicit. Is that the equation, computer speaking, is the latter half is with a big X, kind of like a geometric term, and several arrows, like different type of arrows, and doesn't really have the variable in variable 1, 2, 3, I would say. And otherwise, they have uh, major variables. Major variable, and one is mm, Uh, yeah, I can potentially check that. It's these like two different categories about this major variable which it picks up. And another problem is that there are some restrictions in data, for example, and the treatment and was the selection bias, right? So the people who picked up and they um, picked up because they have satisfied the requirements for this kind of study, so they pick up. But the problem is that they pick up uh, could not present all the population who have similar situations, and so they kind of like we first said that is selection bias, but I'm not sure. So in this sense, and like permanent income and one shock share with you guys. Since I read the title, I think that is kind of like YouTuber Ali Abdul, and you can search for it. And he was the graduated from the Cambridge University as a medical doctor, and I was thinking, okay, is his wife and his wife has a permanent income and stay at home, and there are a lot of inequalities exist between and etc. Because they Ali has higher income, so to say. And but the reversely speaking is that during last night, I was kind of search a little bit what is going on. One thing is important is that it is like Vietnamese YouTuber named Yuan, and she recently got married with his German boyfriend, and so that is kind of interesting, and he has enormous huge fans group, and visited his YouTube website, YouTube, with his YouTube, and has a high income, like permanent income, and could only be Ali. But yesterday they have confused about this kind of facts. That's why. Otherwise, there are nothing, and I just stopped at the figure, the table one, the figure one, and in the figure two, kind of like feel like very devastated because you don't what's mentioning that kind of like the in one household and whether it is kind of like single household uh, or the household consist with a man and a woman, and there is some tricky here like uh, they are saying they are saying like co-living woman, and it is to say that they co-live together in one in one roof, but they don't have the marriage relationship with each other, or the kind of married couple and unmarried couple is only like co-living space, like together live, like 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 my home, my host family, um, yeah, shrink and so and she is constantly girlfriend and in that time, but I don't know whether. And they are saying that marriage is kind of like commitment, and so that let's say Jing Tang and his Jing Tang study video YouTube, and also has a BL2 fans, BL241 fans, and so that he and his wife like kind of kind of unspoken, and I will not judge it, but upon this kind of current topic, like committed couple who shares the similar interests and could potentially benefit from each other, and but will not exposure every detail to each other, and every time, like every time like some defensive part that you fear about you have similar interests and you fear about to be beaten by your counterpart, and that's why negotiating power. And sometimes if you lost the negotiating power and your marriage could potentially facing some states like divorce or broken relationship, and that's all possible. But the problem is that to questioning about in which kind of percentage ratio your marriage will be facing the state of divorce, for example. Like if it is not from some public person, like a very famous one, and owns the e-business company, and that's in China, like a 巨头 company, and like only few, and then after divorce, you can potentially like gain your joint fruits, like joint financial foundation, like over 25% to 30%. It's kind of influence taking business. But yeah, but they have a detailed study about this issue, like um, uh, you, for example, like negotiate power, negotiate the woman has a high emotional level and could potentially have 25% or 30% negotiating power in a household. That is that is not very much more. And upon their study, and they have said, yeah, if a woman have a low education degree and their marriage is more happy, and because the one is more stupid, too easy to cheat, right? So you don't know that you feel much more happier, and then it's kind of like voice versa. Okay, fine. So let's just talk about this. Yeah, that's what I yesterday read, and about the year time interval was 2004 2007。哦我的天呐，我的这一被更新了一下。嗯嗯嗯 反正就一个 interesting 是它这个 XE 然后一个 household for example and so it's kind of yeah there is one kind of value from it and I feel interesting. It seems like the professor has invented one single variable in my equation and intercurrent article in the arrow term like gamma and AC states. And interesting in 2 semesters ago, and I was talk talk something to the drawing was my classmate, and then we are saying that will not impact you and the impact over and etc. This all served for the PhD interest in etc. And the error term is the last term and the delta T and the delta E and C, like the EC office fits is just like one term, right? And one term in the equation and IT like treatment and control group and etc. The effect of afterwards and before treatment, after treatment and etc. But they kind of focus more on the after treatment, so that the second term is beta treats E and post E. So I stopped in the post treatment and pre treatment. I feel like very hinder me. Um, the reason is that the mm, pre-treatment is kind of like a SIA, right? Triggers a lot of energy and like emotionally and instead of the post-E, like post-treatment is kind of okay, but linked with the economics of welfare state is one application from public economics, and which the PE has also included in this cover article. I know it's awesome, eben einige Sachen. Aber yeah, fine. Um, I guess it is this, right? And one thing also interesting, it is like why permanent income from IT is kind of like, okay, you can just say like it's first major, okay, so Gaminos major, um, and treat him as a Johnson and just just yeah just think that in this way is much more easier. Yeah, and if you flip this kind of article fast, and you can find that it's kind of like man and woman on the yeah I don't know yeah I shouldn't say that, but it's also the Carlos Free University and like who did the yeah who did the yeah yeah so until now I still don't know what means the SS system, and so they have said to me that I should only focus on same and different. And also they have also this like in the articles that the the difference they only mention like difference like double D, and they have them to mention anything else in the SS system, same system, and different system. Like that's yeah. Okay, cool. And this kind of article is from um, Um, so to say that or earns less and don't have the negotiation power, there are a lot of inequality existing in the household. Of course, this with the marriage or the relationships, and so that it's kind of need to reform because the women need to increase their salary and income in order to increase the power in the household and so that to prevent not to divorce or separation and to make a conflict to catch up about the month's earnings in the etc. And and it's yeah cool. They say that like cohabiting woman，哎呦，我的 good 呀，我的天！就他说的是 cohabiting，就是 habiting，就是居住在一块的，然后就是一块居住在，就是一起居住在一起，但是之间没有什么 marriage 那种 commitment 啊，就是没有什么那种promise，然后没有什么 formal promise，但仅仅只是住在一起了，就像是景涛，然后当时住在那个就柏林这边那个 Sheila Cubis，然后他们就是住在一起，然后但是他们之间还没有正式的这个婚姻的契约关系，然后但是你这好，你之间肯定是可以相，还有他们的这个 survey，然后他们这个 database 是叫 EPHI，然后但是我不去。